Yeah, I always like to get the meeting off to a smooth start to sort of set the pace. My name is Susan Harris. I work for an organization known as Merit Network, which coordinates NANOG meetings. I had thought after all these years I would be more or less done with answering this question, but a month or so ago I was at the ARIN meeting in Vancouver, and a good friend who will know who she is looked at me, even though she's been coming to NANOG for 5 or 6 years, and said, "What does Merit do?" So I'm going to take 2 minutes on that this morning, partly because many of you in the room are new. First of all, where we are, we're at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. I think Merit's strong point is bringing together diverse communities like you and diverse technologies. We've been doing this since the late 60s when U of M, Michigan State, and Wayne State. Did that just go away, or has it not been up at all when I've been talking? How do you know it's a cable? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll plug in the cable. See, this is what I mean by a smooth start to a meeting. Like the rest of us. It is, Betty, you know, it is the position of the mics. I think, no, you know, I think this is bad. I think my laptop is entirely frozen up now. No. Okay. There were, maybe in the break we can futz with them. Okay. In the late 60s, in Michigan, there were 3 universities, Wayne State, U of M, and Michigan State, among many universities, who decided it would be cool to network their mainframe computers, all of which were made by different manufacturers, of course. They discovered pretty quickly there was no readily available commercial solution to do this, decided to do it themselves. Merit built a new interface to the PDP-11. We farmed out the construction of that new component, but actually built our own operating system, our own network protocols, put one of the systems at each campus, and it worked. Since then, we have grown tremendously. We're now Michigan's largest ISP by far. We connect most of the public colleges and universities in the state to the internet. Our regional network is called MishNet. We also connect what we call affiliate organizations, several hundred nonprofits, hospitals, libraries, state of Michigan, and so on. This fall, we'll be meeting with ARIN once again, our 3rd time, this time in Reston, thanks to our host, Time Warner. For those of you who haven't been to ARIN before, well, first of all, a question. Am I talking too loud? Good. Well, maybe I'll just start my talk all over. For those of you who have not been at ARIN meetings before, they are a tad different than NANOG. Now, the Dalai Lama doesn't come to all of them, but he did happen to be in Vancouver. He is pictured here walking by the ARIN registration desk with that wonderful, sweet smile on his face, and in this case, smiling at Slight change of subject, switch in data. We want to thank you for entertaining all of us last night. It was fabulous. Anytime a company steps up to do that, we are very grateful. Other companies to thank as well. Cloud Shield fed us our continental breakfast this morning. As Steve Feldman, our host, will tell you, IP Networks donated our hotel fiber link. Colo provider 365 Main donated a cross connect. Joel Yeagley and Lucy Lynch have outdone themselves this time. The multicast broadcast is available in QuickTime and MPlayer. Check the web for this, network.html. They were assisted by Cisco and Crockett, and Juniper donated the edge router for the meeting. Dwayne Wessels, who's sitting here next to me, has been donating time and services to NANOG for years. This time he's doing something new. and he's here to tell you about it.
Okay, so yesterday there was a tutorial on using this IPsec server that we have here at the meeting. There was about 25 people there, and I think something like 5 to 8 people actually got it working. So it's a little bit tricky, but certainly possible. Do I have a pointer?
Yes.
I'll in a minute. So this little network diagram here shows some sort of view of the network here, and the reason for the IPsec server is that obviously on the wireless network here, it's really easy to eavesdrop on other people's traffic. So this is the area that we're sort of worried about, and now at this meeting there's a new subnet over here with an IPsec server, which you can establish a security association with, and if everything works, this green line shows the path where your packets would be encrypted, and then the red line shows the path where they would be decrypted, and of course it's the same for going the other direction. So if anybody's interested in using this, probably the first thing to do is go to the agenda page, go to the page for the tutorial yesterday and download the slides, check those out. If you're using Unix or Macintosh, you can come and see me, and I need to give you an IP address that you can use for the tunnel endpoint. And of course, come and see me if you have any questions or issues in trying this out. Thanks.
Dwayne is extremely modest. This was an unusual thing to try to get all these heterogeneous systems together using IPsec is possibly a first. Sean McCreary pointed this out to me just after Dwayne's tutorial. I don't know that this has ever been done before. Many of you are using IPsec at an enterprise level, but using a canned client is very different than what Dwayne managed to do yesterday. If you work on operational security at an ISP, pick up a black dot at your badge. Pick up a black dot at the registration desk so others can recognize you by your badge. You'll also want to attend the ISP security tutorial tonight that's being hosted by BOF tonight. That's being hosted by Danny McPherson and Meta Kakeo. 9 o'clock. After that, we have the PGP key signing hosted by Joe Abley and a special BOF. I hope any of you who are interested in what happens with standard setting for Internet operations will attend. We have the chair of the Internet Engineering Task Force moderating the session. That's Harold Alvestrand, along with Alex Sinnen, who's co-responsible for routing activities at the IETF, also handles some of the traffic engineering working groups. This is your chance to tell them what you would like to see happening as far as standard setting. Speaking of badges, to be in the room, you do need to have your badge on, so please keep it around your neck, but not too tight. And also out socializing, beer and gear, whatever, we will ask you to keep your badge on. Numbers, you can see we're up this time. The very bottom line, the non-US Canada attendees, it's highest for the one joint ARIN meeting that's pictured here, Chicago. For the ARIN meeting, we always get lots of people from the registries in Asia, Europe, Africa, South America, and so on. More numbers. We have a clear winner, folks. Here are really flattering pictures of our... These are people from our program committee who will be moderating sessions today, and it's my pleasure to introduce one of them, Steve Feldman, our host from CNET. I will introduce him after I get his slides up. They're right here, Steve. Remain calm. Of course, everyone's watching. I don't dare switch this.
Hi, thanks for coming to San Francisco. Hope you all enjoyed the fireworks show that we put on for you Saturday night. For those of you who actually weren't here, one of the radio stations had a big concert out by the water and did a fireworks show over the bay, and there was a spectacular view of it from here in the hotel, so this is out my window. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, what does CNET do? The answer is that we're a global online media company, which translates to content provider. We have a bunch of different brands, including the one that didn't show up down there in the corner, which is mp3.com. So, that's too bad. But most of the others you probably have seen at some time or another. The big red CNET ball you'll see all over the place here. The hotel network. We have a gigabit Ethernet link from here to our data center, which is about a mile and a half away. All you guys on your laptops and the wired connections are on one big flat /22 network. So if you need to open up firewall holes, that's what it is. The multicast does not go onto this network, so you can't watch yourselves, I guess, but you can watch us. There is an authentication server this time on the wireless network, or on the wired network for that matter. Anybody who connects the very first time, you need to bring up a web browser, you'll get a splash page, it'll ask you to type in the email address that you registered with. If you can remember that and type it in correctly, then after that, your laptop is validated for the rest of the meeting. If you can't remember your email address, then see us at the wireless desk in the back of the room, and we can fix that for you. The wireless SSID is NANOG 31. You may discover that this being San Francisco, there are a lot of wireless access points in the area. For instance, from the terminal room, we could actually see Starbucks across the street. So if you think you might end up on the wrong network and don't want to pay Starbucks or whatever, use SSID NANOG 31. We should have coverage in all the meeting rooms up here, the lobby downstairs, including Caruso's, the cafe, and we were working to have it in the restaurant downstairs. I don't know if we got that finished in time, but hopefully we'll get that too. The terminal room is straight behind us, across the lobby and up the hall, up the stairs. There's 10 PCs running Red Hat Linux. There's tables with power for laptops, both wired and wireless. And if you go in there, say hi to the friendly CNET person who's guarding the tables. Got a lot of people to thank for this. Without everyone's help, this wouldn't have worked. IP Networks donated the dark fiber link from here to the colo. They were actually out here pulling it through the street as late as Thursday night. But there was a bit of scheduling issue because they had a paying customer who also wanted their fiber. So it was really nice of them to get this in time, even without money involved. 365 Main is our colo provider, where the other end of the fiber is. We realized on Wednesday that nobody had remembered to order the cross connect to IPN's fiber, so they got it in real fast without a formal order and without charge, so thanks to them for doing that. Juniper Networks donated the router that we're using for the hotel here. It's an M7i. It's been running flawlessly. And thanks especially to Aviva and Zaid for donating it, helping with the setup. Also to Aviva's daughter, who's been helping us a lot at the t-shirt desk and taping down wires and all sorts of other thankless tasks around here. Merit, of course, for organizing all of this. I don't know what I would have done without Carol, especially, Betty and Susan and everyone else helping to keep me sane through this. And if anyone here is from the hotel, thank you very much. You've been a real joy to work with, bending over backwards to meet our needs instead of the other way around. So I have to thank you for that. Special thanks also to the people from CNET, who you'll be seeing mostly wearing these bright orange shirts like this. So if you see them, please thank them too. I'm not going to list them all because there are so many of them. But I need to give a special thanks to my management, who made sure that I actually had the time to devote to this without being bothered with routine mundane tasks, and so that I could devote my full time to getting this NANOG meeting running. Let's see, there was one other thing I wanted to mention, which is that this being a big city, there are issues occasionally with theft. So please don't leave your laptops unguarded. They have been known to walk away, and that's unfortunate, but it's really hard to prevent unless you take care of your own hardware. Otherwise, thanks for being here, and enjoy the next couple days.
Thank you, Steve.